The president, who spoke at the climate change summit held on the sidelines of the ongoing United General Assembly in New York, said Kenya is fully committed to the fight against climate change. He said sustainable climate action is largely about people and their livelihoods, adding that no one should be left behind in efforts to combat climate change. President Kenyatta said Kenya has taken deliberate steps towards meeting its international climate obligations in sectors such as energy, environment, and the blue economy, forestry, and geothermal as well. The president went ahead and said that Kenya has partnered with the private sector to expand access to alternative sources of household energy, especially for urban, poor, and rural populations, with a target of transitioning 80% of households from biomass sources. His Excellency, who spoke on the theme of Live Work and Move Green, said Kenya will continue championing the Building Climate Resilience for the Urban Poor Initiative, developed by Brazil and UN Habitat. The multilateral initiative seeks to build climate resilience among 600 million people by 2030. President Kenyatta concluded by saying that Kenya is ready and willing to share its experience of the Building Bridges initiative aimed at bridging the divide in its internal politics. He said the opportunity to share the experience with the rest of the world was partly the reason why the East African country had put forward its bid for an unpermanent seat on the UN Security Council.
Our commitment is to tackle climate change, and this runs deep and arises out of our need to secure our future and that of our children, as we all have been victims of drought and declining rainfall, which have destroyed our livelihoods, and many lives have been lost. And all this calls on a need for increasing the requirement of public resources to address emergencies and disasters. Kenya, therefore, has joined together with other nations in affirmation of the global commitments by ratifying our agreements and further domesticating the same in our national laws and strategies to ensure that there is action at all levels of government. In energy, we have transformed our energy sources to renewables to the tune of 90%. And I recently inaugurated our largest wind farm in the continent at Lake Turkana, and we continue to prioritize our energy developments from geothermal and other natural resources. These new sources have enabled us to expand connectivity from less than 30% in 2013 to 75% in 6 years, and our aim is to achieve universal access by 2022. On adaptation, we aim to plant 2 billion trees to achieve the global threshold of 10% tree cover by 2022 instead of our intended target of 2030. This is in addition to the global commitment to restore 5.1 million hectares as our national contribution to the African Forest and Landscapes Restoration Initiative. Indeed, in November of 2018, Kenya co-hosted with Japan and Canada the first ever Global Sustainable Blue Economy Conference, which led to renewed commitments for marine protection, plastics and waste management, maritime safety and security, and ocean-based livelihoods development. Kenya is also a member of the high-level panel on sustainable ocean economy and will be co-hosting with Portugal the UN Oceans Conference in 2020, where we hope to launch a new compact for sustainable ocean economy development. Sustainable climate action is about people and their livelihoods. We must therefore ensure that we leave no one behind. We have therefore chosen mitigating and adaptation measures that are consistent with and enable our people to secure their livelihoods and expand economic opportunities. We have partnered with the private sector, for example, in expanding access to alternative cooking and lighting fuel, targeted at the urban as well as rural poor, and we intend to transition 80% of households using biomass energy to 100% clean cooking fuel. As part of our commitment to climate action, Kenya has also joined with Turkey in co-leading the Infrastructure, Cities and Local Action track, which resulted in various ambitious initiatives. One of them is building climate resilience for the urban poor. Developed in partnership with Brazil and UN Habitat, and this aims to build climate resilience to 600 million vulnerable people by 2030. Kenya will champion the implementation of this initiative and mobilization of the necessary resources to meet this challenge. Indeed, we should remember that climate action will only succeed when initiatives similar to the ones I have highlighted target to improve the lives of everyone, including the 1 billion urban poor that face climate effects today. Kenya is committed to leaving no one behind by ensuring that our vulnerable people have access to energy in terms of amount and price, access to energy that is bringing change, providing new opportunities, improved security, clean cooking, and education, not only in our urban areas, but even in small rural villages. Indeed, as I conclude, let us all heed the call of the Secretary General for us to express more ambition in tackling this existential challenge of climate change.